One.
Good morning, and welcome to today's episode of What's the Deal with Adam and Neil. I'm Adam.
And I'm Matt.
Hey, Matt. You're not Neil.
I'm not Neil.
I feel like today's episode should be entitled Chew the Fat with Adam and Matt.
Badoonch.
Yeah, you know, people like to do that.
I didn't even know that was a phrase.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe it's not, but it is now. So, welcome. We have a lot to discuss this morning. For instance, how does Neil like his eggs? Still yet to be determined. We're also going to talk through a few different passages of Scripture, and Matt and I are brothers, so you get to hear a little bit about our brotherhood history.
West Virginia, best Virginia.
That's right. So let's talk through a little bit. To get us started, Matt, tell us a little bit about how students are digitally connecting right now.
So the best way for students to connect is through Discord. We actually set one of those up, and it's actually usually a gaming app, and we've tended to set it up toward Minecraft and toward some other different things so that students can feel connected, have a little bit of community while they're on a little bit of a lockdown. And then the other ways are through Zoom. With Zoom, it's basically a video chatting app that we're able to have multiple people all connect, do Bible studies, as well as have almost a youth group at home. And so that's one of the ways that
Good morning, Discord.
Good morning.
Student Life Group from Lumberjack 460.
100 better than 360.
That's right. That's why it's 460.
Hey. Awesome.
So good. So Discord and then Zoom, and basically just connecting in different ways like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bryant says hello.
Awesome. Yes. They're now featured on the show. So thank you for joining us and talking through all these different things with that. So Matt, we're brothers. How about you share with us a little bit about our childhood? Are there any memories that stand out to you that people would be interested in knowing about?
Oh, there are many memories. I was trying to think through some. Many were sentimental.
For instance?
Like I would always cry when Adam would go to college.
Yes.
And then our other brother Nate would go to college, and I'd be like, "Get out of here!" But no, but it was very sad. And I love Nate now; he's amazing. But
No.
yeah, for some reason I was a jerk when I was a kid. But then there was also times that we had a lot of video games growing up. We played Call of Duty Black Ops online. You were at McLean Bible.
I still play Call of Duty Black Ops.
That is.
I'm the only one on there now.
Yeah, you and like two other people who are
In another country, yeah. We
cheating
just-
the whole time.
Yeah.
Then we'd also, I remember we played this game called the End Game, which you're a little ninja jumping around catching gold.
Yeah.
And so there was those. We also played Iron Man. I'd come over and visit you at McLean.
What's
and,
that?
You had like an Iron Man game on the PS2.
I don't remember that.
You remember that one?
No.
I literally remember. It was the worst game ever. It was literally me running around just like shooting laser beams at people.
I vaguely remember this now that you're bringing it up.
Yeah, it was back when Iron Man fought terrorists rather than aliens. So
Got it.
yeah, it was the good old days.
Yeah.
And then so we had video games. We also had other times. I was more the little brother. So Adam's 10 years older than me. I don't know if you can tell that. Hence the beard. Hence.
Because this happens in 10 more years.
Yeah, in 10 years I'll have a full beard. But he's 10 years older than me, so I'd always be the one that's following around. And I remember multiple times when Adam and Nate would either be catching snakes or killing bees. And specifically twice when they killed bees, they would throw rocks at hornets' nests. And there's like an in-ground, isn't there bees that live in the ground?
Yeah.
Like that's a thing. You guys like went over and you like put a little like bomb in it. And
We did.
And I had to jump in the car while you guys were running away.
Oh, you were part of
said,
that?
Yeah, you said, Matt, get in the car. And so I was sitting in a car with the bees running around.
Yeah.
So that was a fun time.
Flying, yeah.
Yeah, or like flying around, yeah, while you guys were running around.
That's funny.
And then I think you guys caught a black snake. Tell me about
did.
that.
Yeah, well, you know, there's snakes in the wild. And so...
Really?
Yeah. So we saw this black snake climbing up the tree in the backyard. And so it was pretty good. It was about 3 feet long. So Nate and I wrangled it in somehow and stuck it in this Tupperware bucket. It was clear and we could see it. And then like a half hour later, we look out, and we couldn't see the snake. And we're like, not only is it probably coming to seek vengeance, but where is this? And so we went out there all careful, and we were trying to harass it, But anyway, we go out there, and it's turned out it lined itself along the top, and then it slowly worked its way and like popped out, and got out of the lid. We were like, this snake is crazy, so we just let it out in the woods.
I remembered, that's awesome, that it aligned itself. Yeah. I remember looking out of the window, because we had like this window that you could see everything in the front yard, and the snake was pushing itself toward the ceiling. So that's the inside scoop.
Oh, really?
If you wanted to, if you didn't see the rest of it happen, but that's the only part I was a part of, was it pushing itself against the ceiling to escape you all.
The ceiling of the house?
No, the ceiling of the little like container, because it was like it was one of those. Is it Tupperware? It's not really Tupperware.
It's something like that.
It's large. It's
Rubbermaid.
Yeah, Rubbermaid boxes.
I don't know.
Yeah, so catching black snakes. You guys actually both of you are very afraid of snakes.
I would prefer to shoot at them.
And you would always be catching them.
Yeah.
Then we also would go to Braves games. And
that's right,
Nationals
once in a while. Or up in Pittsburgh, because we grew up 2 hours south of Pittsburgh, so we'd go to some games. And we grew up liking baseball.
Mm-hmm.
I played it for many years, 7, 8, 9 years. I don't know. I'd have to do the math on that, but it was many. Did you play baseball?
I played baseball
I don't remember. You'd think I would know, right?
I played all the alphabet balls, so like A ball, C ball, T ball, all them balls. Oh.
Okay, so when you were younger.
Yeah, all the baseballs.
Okay, yeah, I know what you meant. So, we like that. So now they're on hold, right? So spring training got paused. Opening day got postponed until later.
All sports got annihilated.
True,
for a solid few months.
But particularly baseball. I had a really good baseball opening day analogy for our church, and now I guess I'm going to hold off on it. Or wait till next year.
Or next year. Now I'm excited for this.
Yeah.
Once I hear it, then I'll know like when you dropped it.
I know. We're not sports analysts, but I will say I'm curious how this will play out with baseball specifically, because they're going to have a shorter season because you can't play into the winter. So they're going to, assuming they're just going to cut games out, right? And that could mean, well, first of all, that'll mean all those stats are totally bonkers. I feel bad for all these guys in their prime.
That's true.
But that also means they're not going to get tired or injured as quickly necessarily, right? Because everyone likes to talk about the length of the season and how that affects their ability to play well in September and October. Well, hey, they have an extra player on the roster and they play less games.
I'm curious, what would they do to adjust those stats? Would they take what the points per game would be and
extrapolate it? No.
Yeah, because
I don't think so.
Like all these guys who are going for the records of, he had over 15 years, he had 600 home runs or whatever it would be. I don't even really know what the numbers would be. But if that was the case, then I feel like that would stop. Like you need to somehow grow that so that even with basketball, LeBron James, how is he going to go up on the scoring list if he can't play all 82 games?
I think it'll just be known all these players had a short season. It's like if there's a strike or something. Yeah.
I never really lived through a strike. That's more of your era back in the 90s and early 2000s.
Yeah. That's true. Okay, well, hey, let's keep going here. Matt, you're in school right now. What are you studying?
I'm currently studying pastoral leadership with my Master's of Art and Religion. So
nice. What school?
So that's at Liberty University. I am taking different courses on evangelism, on apologetics, church history, different things like that, basically toward the church realm. Turns out to be about 15. It's 15 course hours of work, which
that's a lot.
Yeah, so it's basically like a 25-page paper a week is how I equate it. So not necessarily will it always be what that is, but that's about the best way to explain it.
Nice. Is that double-spaced?
Yes, double-spaced.
No, I'm kidding. The reason I say that is because I think about my sermons. They're usually about 9 pages. And so if you double-space them, it'd be about 20. But it's not academic, so it is slightly different. There's, research involved, but there's also personal stories. You can't use personal stories in a in a course, except maybe some of your courses like evangelism. How did you share your faith this week?
Yeah.
And that would be personal.
Well, they say you can't use personal stories. I kind of go around that and I'll be like, yes, there was once a man who experienced this. And that'll take up about 2 pages of work. So
that's true.
I find my ways of getting around it. Analogies.
Like a historical event, but not a personal one. You should be writing like in the midst of something really academic, and then all of a sudden transition. Like that reminds me of the oatmeal I ate this morning.
Well, I think the hard part. That's true, actually. I sometimes have to do that though at the very end of the papers, because at Liberty they're very strict about like, oh, well, don't use any like, is it called personal pronouns or anything like that, where you're like talking
we,
about, you can't do those. But then they'll always like say, now how does this apply to you at the very end?
Yes.
And it's like, so I worked so hard at not using any like yous or I's throughout the whole thing. And then at the very end, they're like, okay, so how does this apply to you? And then I say, I liked it, and then I get usually points off for that. So that's nice. The worst part. Or I usually just like, if I already throw in one I, I'll just throw in the rest of them just to allow more space and fill in with a story about snakes and the Nationals games.
Got it. Yeah. Try that next time. Huh. Wow.
But Adam, so earlier we were talking about baseball teams. Yeah. So why do you like the Braves specifically?
Yeah, that's one of those like cultural phenomenons in which you grow up and you just cling to a certain team. And I was born outside of Chicago. So my parents are big time Chicago. True. Our parents. We have the same parents because we're
crazy
brothers.
Hopefully,
they
unless there's something I don't know.
They like true. There's a lot. Yeah, 10 years
adopted.
difference. Maybe. Well, we'd still have the same parents.
True.
You can drink more coffee on that one. But so they like the Cubs and the Bears and all that stuff, right? Chicago teams. So I try to like them as a kid, but never really stuck, and they weren't very good. So it particularly didn't really connect for me. But the Braves were pretty good, and they were on TV every single game on TBS. It was a fantastic way for, at the time, Ted Turner, but now a different company owns it all. But for them to basically have an entire generation of nomad fans cling to their team. So there are, I know there's got to be, I can't be the only one, there's got to be Braves fans around the U.S. who are fans only because I got to watch them on TV. That's how I got to watch them. We didn't have a team. We were in upstate New York at that point. There wasn't any team nearby that was worth that good. Yeah, you had Toronto Blue Jays. They were probably the closest. But and they were okay then. But the Braves are better. So I liked them. And
where's Montreal at? You might have had the Expos.
That's true. And then also
it's Canada. I don't know the geography of
Yankees
Canada.
were good and all that stuff. But I was more of a National League guy. I really liked that the pitchers got to hit. So I just connected more. And a team I used to like were the Astros because they were in the National League, and then they switched. And it was such a unique phenomenon that they got to go to the other league. But then they're a bunch of cheaters. So bring it on.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how I got into it. I got to watch them on TV, and it turned out I just really liked them. Now they've been breaking my heart for 20 years. That's been a very actually 25 now. So it's, 10,
25, 24.
Because they won in 95. That's like the first series I got to watch.
And then they lost in 96, I think, right? And then like forever after that, they just kept losing.
8, 9, something like that. Yeah, they just kept losing. In hindsight, you realize they weren't actually very good. They kept getting there.
But they're counted as a dynasty.
I know.
So,
but they only won once, which makes me think about Tom Brady. Here he went from hero to zero.
Yes, he is now a Tampa Bay Buccaneer.
Yes.
He moved away. He abandoned his team.
Without John Gruden, the Buccaneers.
Yes. No, they had nothing.
And without Warren Sapp.
Yeah, they had Warren Sapp, and then before that they had Tony Dungy, but they fired Tony Dungy for John Gruden. So
yeah. Well, was it Gruden?
Yeah, Gruden. I think
Gruden, something like that. Well, hey, let's talk about some more serious stuff because we have limited time. So a verse that's been standing out to me is from Psalm 91. And in light of all the stuff that's going on, it really catches my attention. Psalm 91 as a chapter is one of those that really I kind of thought through at length more as a child because I read a lot about Jim Elliot, and a book about him is called The Shadow of the Almighty, and so that's taken from Psalm 91 verse 1. So whenever I read that verse and it says this, whoever dwells in the shadow of the Most High will abide. Whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will abide in the shadow of the Almighty. And I say to the Lord, my refuge and my fortress, my God, in whom I will say to the Lord, you are my refuge, and you are my fortress, my God, in whom I trust. So that verse has always stood out to me in a special way compared to all the other Psalms because of the correlation of Jim Elliot and just being able to read his story as a kid. But I wanted us to look at Psalm 91. So I already read that first verse, but there's another verse that I want to draw our attention to. It's at the end of the chapter, and it says this in verse 14: because he holds fast to me in love, I will deliver him, I will protect him because he knows my name. So this is, this is when he calls to me, I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will rescue him and honor him. With long life I will satisfy him and show him my salvation. So that language is God to us, and so I love kind of getting into the heart of God and seeing that a lot in Scripture. It reveals that, but rarely do we have His words to us as directly as something like this. And so so I'm going to reread it again. This is as we cry out to him, he responds to us, and this is a response. Because Matt, right? Because Matt holds fast to me in love, I will deliver him, I will protect him because he knows my name. When he calls to me, I will answer him, I will be with him in trouble, I will rescue him and honor him. With long life, I will satisfy him and show him my salvation. So that's a verse that stands out to me this morning, and it's part of my prayer for our church this week. So. With that said, there was this quote I read yesterday, and I retweeted it. I'm on Twitter. My handle is very creative. It's Adam Schwenk. Yeah,
that's deep.
I know. I don't even know if there's others out there with that same.
That could be Adam Schwenk 1, or someone impersonating you.
Ooh,
Adam or Atom, spelled ATOM.
Faux Adam Schwenk.
Ooh,
yeah,
that's true. You need.
I haven't hit that
the real
point yet where I have fake accounts trying to meme me and parody me.
Well,
I could create my own.
I was looking up your name the other day, and you have a lot of guys who are stars out there named out of Schwenk, and those stars are
stars.
Yeah, they're hitting home
space?
runs. No, like not like space stars, but like they're like
I don't know
all these guys who are making recruiting videos for sports. Unless that was you back in the day, but they're all on YouTube.
People named Adam Schwenk.
Yeah.
Nice.
Adam and Matt Schwenk. So we know, we have siblings, I guess, or something.
We should reach out to them and do a dual video.
Dude,
we could be their participants in their sports videos.
What do we have them? That's true. Like how about we film sports videos and put that out there, and then they film this, and then we just flip flop back and forth.
I like it.
Or randomly, what if they right now when I snap my fingers, they take over and they're suddenly here talking.
That's true. Something to
editing.
Consider. So this Twitter quote says this. This was by a guy named J.T. English. Dun, dun, dun. I don't know if that means he speaks English.
Is he Spanish?
If that's his last name, like Mr. English. Or yes. He wrote it in Spanish, surprisingly. And it says this: two seemingly contradictory lessons I think we're going to learn through social distancing and quarantine. I thought these were really good. I knew where he was going almost right away, because but I wanted to hear how he wrote it. He says, things we thought we needed to be in person can actually be done virtually. Things we thought could be done virtually actually need to be done in person. All right? And I thought that was good. The question is, what things that we thought needed to be done in person can be done virtually?
Where did you actually find this quote?
When?
Where?
On Twitter.
It was on Twitter, and so you just retweeted it?
Yeah.
Man.
A friend of mine retweeted it, so I hit retweet.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I don't tweet often.
Because at first,
once a month, I make sure whatever I tweet really matters.
At first, I thought you were gonna say something along the lines of, I read this in a book or something like that, and I was like, why was someone referencing social distancing? I've never even heard of that before this situation.
Dude, let's pump out a book. Predate it to October.
Well, I know you're really into creating new things, so we could make it legacy publishing or something.
It's true. We already talked about making legacy media, a legacy clothing line, what was the other one?
Expeditions.
Oh yes, Atlas Expeditions.
Yeah.
But that's both a travel agency undercover. Well, I can't say what it actually is.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it spoils the cover.
True.
Yeah.
Man. Secrets.
Almost did it. Almost released.
Yeah, it would have been out on the internet for everyone to know.
I know.
No, that would never have been secret again.
I know. Thankfully, nobody's watching. Speaking of, we need 100 subscribers on YouTube. Go to search Legacy Church, Greene County. You'll see our name show up, and with that, we need 100 subscribers because then we can have a customized URL, and then we can easily promote this across other platforms. So if you're watching this on Facebook, or if you are watching this on YouTube for some reason, you found it, I want to encourage you to subscribe just to at least get us to the 100 threshold. If we start getting 150 or so, then you can remove your subscription if you want. Just get us there. I'm creating all these fake profiles just to kind of get us there, and then we'll customize it, and then who knows?
Yeah, I've got like 8 emails, man. It's awesome. Pumping them out.
Yeah, every single email, log in and use it.
Yeah.
So with that, what were we talking about? The
quote.
Yeah, the quote. And so things that we thought needed to be in person can be done virtually, and then things that we thought could be done virtually actually need to be done in person. The last one I want to address. So people would say, let's talk virtually. I am discovering how disconnected that actually feels. I want to see people face to face. I want to enjoy that time, but we are limited in that. So that's being brought out even more. I feel that with Sunday morning. We've only not had church once. We're prepping for the next few Sundays for what that looks like, and I'm already feeling that disconnect. So much happens on Sunday morning in which we are spending time with one another and praying for one another and just seeing one another and standing next to each other or worshiping next to each other or having teaching, and having that all right there is a powerful opportunity God has given us, and has been taken as far as the where I can actually touch you, although I'm not going to, right?
I'm a hologram, so
that's true. And so I can't, but that's one thing that has really brought out something. But let's look at the other side. What are things that people thought they needed to do in person that you would say, we can do this virtually?
Well, it's actually interesting because we are, like me, I'm on the tail end of the millennial, beginning of the
you're right there at the threshold. You happen to have older siblings, so you probably get brought
so I'm like more of a adopted and millennial, but still the stigma of millennials is that it's like, oh well, we want to do everything online, and even Gen Z, we want to connect virtually, we want to focus on that. But even as I've gotten older, and I mean I'm only 23, going on 24. So even as I've gotten older, I've found the importance of connecting face-to-face personally and having that relationship built in that way. And it's almost, it fights loneliness. There's a lot of different ideas that you can go off with that, but I think we're specifically Gen Z, so a lot of the students that I work with, they struggle a lot with, I want to connect virtually, and if I connect virtually, then I'll have friends, I'll have a multitude of people that are investing in me. But you really miss out on, you more feel that level of loneliness that develops because you miss out on so many interactions, and it's as if we're most connected. They say it a lot, where it's we're the most connected generation, but also the most lonely, or things like that. And so it's almost like our minds lie to us saying, I need quiet time, or I need time away from everyone. Man, I'm so glad we are under this lockdown where I can be away from that. But no, when you realize that you're away from that, you then also think, man, why am I going through this seasonal depression right now? Why am I so feeling oh man, no one wants to talk to me, am I loved, things like that. All those questions develop because those are all answered in those face-to-face interactions. And many times I meet with people one-on-one or grab coffee with them, and those are the times that I feel I'm investing in them the most and they're investing in me, and we're able to both leave, man, oh, this is great. I feel someone cares about me, someone knows my story more. This was intentional, someone sought me out and wants to be with me. So those are the ways that I think we almost miss out when we're trying to virtually connect. And yes, we have FaceTime, but I think we miss out on a lot of those interpersonal relationships that are being built.
Sure. So hopefully this brings that out, demonstrates to people the need for one another.
Yeah, and I think that's actually going to be really helpful toward student ministry specifically too, because I think a lot of students are going to see, man, I really missed my friends at school. I missed my interactions with everyone. I missed being able to go to baseball, do these different things. And it's interesting because like I think you guys mentioned in a previous video, the Lord took away the idols of sports so far, but now it's like, okay, so what do we focus on? And it's like, right now for everyone, for all the teens out there, like, I want to play video games, I guess, but they're missing out on those relationships. I think they're really going to feel that in probably in a week or so, once that kind of develops a little bit more.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Well, awesome. That's kind of all I have for us to talk about. Are you good?
I'm good. I think that there's actually a verse that I have that relates to this, and it's Ecclesiastes 4, 9 through 10. I'll read that real quick. But it says, 2 are better than one because they have a good return for their work. If one falls, his friend can help him up, but pity the man who falls and has no one to help him up.
That's right. So, digitally, you will need to have some people around you, even though you may not be face-to-face with them. Yeah,
digitally, you can use the best you can to have that community and have someone pick you up, be accountable to, have someone that's going through life with you.
Yeah, awesome. Well, if you don't have that kind of person, feel free to reach out to our church. We're going to get you connected in some way. We have really appreciated all of your submissions of prayer requests to us. We have that if you go to visitlegacy.org and just on the main page right there. You might need to scroll down a little bit, but one of the options is prayer requests, and you can submit how we can be praying for you specifically, and we can pass that around to people if you permit that. And that's been very helpful. And so please let us in on your world a little bit as we're all distanced in ways that are new. So thanks for joining us today. We look forward to spending time with you next time. Have a great afternoon.